Hello everyone, welcome back to Basket of Bricks. Well, you said you wanted classic space, so even though this isn't a Lego quickie, it's still classic space. So I hope you enjoy it, as today we are going to be taking a look all the way back to 1981. This set 6927 all-terrain vehicle. I'm excited about this one, so let's jump right into it. Now, despite this giving the illusion of only one build, it's actually a double deal here. So we're going to take a look at each build individually, then see how they incorporate together. So I'm just going to quickly remove this quick sub-assembly so we can take a look at the main vehicle here itself. Very interesting design for the front here, as it actually looks a lot like a spaceship. It mimics the same idea that the Starfleet Voyager had. While the driver is able to actually look at the floor, we have that inverted canopy piece, which gives it like kind of a nose, a really interesting shape at the beginning. There's two clips for accessories, which is awesome. There's some little ladders for access here and there. Some printed pieces for detail, maybe some antenna. There's actually 3 wheels in this set, which gives it an oddly heavy-duty look, despite it being very low to the ground. Now, I think it might have been better for Lego to put bigger wheels on this, because I think it being so low to the ground might have interfered if it was played on carpet a little bit. But honestly, besides from the rocket thrusters on the back of this thing, I don't know. They didn't need to do that. It's not necessary, but it's very classic space. Just randomly putting rocket boosters on the back of something for really no reason. Now, without the other sub-assembly, that's really it. We have this big gaping gap in the middle of this build. So, which is where the other sub-assembly goes. Now, as far as this thing is, that's kind of it. You know, it rolls around, you put a figure in it, and you load and unload stuff. So, without the other sub-assembly, there really isn't much here. But, the other sub-assembly is included, so let's go take a look at that. Sorry about that noise, but now we're taking a look at the second little sub-assembly. Now, this is a small little base. It's like a small little lab that the vehicle transports around. It has some very big communication discs up here on the top, which look very cool. I kind of wish that they will turn, but hey, can't ask for everything. And they're sitting on top of what I think is easily maybe the most interesting part of this set. I believe it is a 6x8 transparent yellow plate. You don't see that very often. This is in fantastic condition. Very pleased about that. Now on the interior here, which this all can simply open up, it is on some hinge bricks. We get a very simple but yet delightful interior, quite a few windows, a rotating chair, a lot of consoles, very classic space, very happy. This thing is just cool. And I need to point out these amazing prints on the outside. Look at the gold on these prints. I mean, phenomenal condition. It's just awesome. Now, there's not really too much more to say about this on its own. It's cool and I like it a lot. It's actually my first bit of classic space base. All I have is vehicles besides this, so it's small, but it's kind of significant for me in that sense. Let's get this vehicle here though. So, and kind of talk about this. So you remember those thrusters I talked about a little bit? Well, those can open up a lot like classic space sets. Very common for them to do that, and they use it very well. And now you take your little module, your little lab module, you just park it in there, and you close it up, and what this does is that these sloped pieces kind of pinch together, and it lifts the entire thing up, and it just clamps on. It's so simple, yet so brilliant at the same time. You can even pick this up from the lab section. It's tight in there, and it's so simple. You just unhook it, and it just comes right off. I mean, you just slide it, you just slide it in there, hook it up, and you're off. It's that easy. It's shockingly simple. I mean, I think I can even maybe turn this upside. Yeah, you can turn this upside down, and it stays in there. It is shockingly stable. And it's such a cool little mechanism because on its own, neither of these two things are super interesting. But when you combine them together, it turns out to be a really interesting and awesome build. Well, what makes a classic space set a classic space set? Well, it's the classic space astronauts. And this set actually comes with 2 astronauts. That is, for me, the most astronauts I've ever gotten in one set. All of my others, I've always had just one. Well, we get 2, and both of which are different colors. Now, this is my second red astronaut, and this is by far the guy that is in the best condition. This guy is in really damn good shape. Like, same with the with the white guy, this is my first yellow classic space guy. I'm not seeing any yellowing on any of these guys. The yellow on their torsos is perfect. These guys are in shocking condition. These minifigures are... I could not have asked for better minifigures, especially with colors like these. I'm just thrilled by these guys. I mean, just besides, like, there's just a little bit of dirt. Just a little bit of dirt that is noticeable on the white guy. Besides that, they're awesome. Classic space figures are just some of my favorite kinds of minifigures. They're so simple, yet are, I think, the most charming things LEGO has ever come out with. So I could talk about them for hours, but I won't. Let's get on to our overview. Quickly forgot to mention, before we move on to our overview, the instruction manual has a few alternate builds in it. So here are those. Kinda cool. Let's get on to the overview. Alright, so as far as my classic space collecting journey, this set is significant in a few ways. One, it gave me two astronauts. Once again, that's the most I've ever had in one set. Both of different colors. One is a new color, and they're both in fantastic condition. Second, this gives me my first bit of classic space base, the little lab section. And three, this set is in shocking condition. This was clearly collector owned. I'm debating on whether or not this was even played with, to be honest. The prints all look phenomenal. The pieces are in great shape. I am finding a minimal amount of dirt and hair. I didn't have to clean this. I didn't even dust it. You're seeing this as it was on the shelf. This must not have not been up on the Bricks and Minifigs shelf for that long, because it's not super dusty. It's like a dream come true to have a classic space set of this size. I know in today's standards, this is rather small, but in classic space standards, this was a pretty, a good sized thing. This was a pretty good medium sized model. So to get this in this good of condition, I mean, I would consider this to be like new condition. Now, because it came to me pre-assembled, I don't know if this is all the pieces. Is possible that this is not all the pieces. I kind of did a quick check. Everything appears to be here, which is of course good. I'd like everything to be here. Of course, it was on Bricks, and I got at Bricks and Minifigs. They did not advertise it as 100% complete. They also did not advertise it as incomplete, which is kind of like, we think this is complete, but we're not. We're not gonna be completely sure, so you don't sue us. So, yeah. I mean, what a sick set. I mean, collecting, my collector brain aside, so sorry about that. It was probably for the best though. I was ranking overall, even for the time, what a fun set, what a cool set, and what an awesome set to get my hands on. Well, that was that for everyone's. That was it for today, everyone. That was this look at this awesome 1981 classic space set. If you enjoyed today's video, of course, consider leaving a like, subscribing, joining my Discord for even more Beskar Bricks action. With that, everyone, I'm gonna sign off. Bye-bye.